Welcome back to Boiler House Garage. I have to first give a shout out to Alfie, who suggested to his dad Dan that he get in touch with me about servicing their newly acquired van that they're going to be using for fishing trips. To clarify, that's fishing trips, not fish and chips, as I do tend to mumble a bit. So a big thank you to Alfie for both the suggestion and also for supporting the channel. Their van is a 2004 Vauxhall combo that, unlike the last combo we featured on the channel a few years back, this has the Isuzu derived 1.7 litre turbo diesel 4EE2 engine over the Fiat based 1.3 turbo diesel that we've seen before. This is also the same engine that was in the Honda Civic Boiler House Garage courtesy car we had a while back. So if you're looking to do a timing belt replacement on a combo or Astra with this 1.7, the procedure is practically the same, so please check that one out too. There are a few output variants of this engine, from 65 to I think 130 horsepower. Oh, we clearly have an oil leak from the rocker cover gasket. It looks like it's been leaking for some time too. Yeah, now that's a much better fuel filter design than the 1300. Remember, that had a plastic spin-off collar, whereas this has a simple bolt. We'll start underneath to drain the oil and have a quick look. So what's immediately noticeable is the congealed oil from the leaking cam cover that has subsequently kept the affected area protected from the surface rust in most other places. The sump plug on these is 22mm, not the Vauxhall Torx that we saw in the 1300. Just to state, this van has got a long MOT, so this is just surface rust and would be a good candidate to get treated with a converter and underbody paint. The CV boots are both good, and apart from rust, the discs are probably better inspected later with the wheels off. Draining the oil is pretty much the only job we're doing under here, so once that's done, you can fit a new sump plug washer, refit the sump plug, and wipe off any excess oil, since you want to know if any drips of oil are coming from the plug later. The next job will be the oil filter, located at the back of the engine here. It's a little easier to get to than the Civic. You'll need to open the big socket drawer in your toolbox, as this uses a 32mm, and you can make it much easier to ratchet if you've got any extension bars or UJs. Once that's done, you can lift the filter out and away. The filter elements just pull and push fit. The replacement is a Comline part number EOF010, and it's worth making a quick comparison with the old part just to make sure that you've been supplied with the correct one, and then click it in place. As well as the filter, you should also find 3 O-rings that go here, here and here, that can be removed with a small flathead screwdriver or pick tool. Looking at the degradation of this old seal, it does look like it's been a while since this van was last serviced. In Haynes manual fashion, refitting is reverse of removal. This van has got a useful bend in this fuel line to help screw the filter cap back on. A good rule of thumb is to tighten it down by hand, and you just want the seal in the cap to be touching the housing, and you can give it an 1/8 of a turn with the ratchet, or to 25 Newton meters if you happen to have a torque wrench that can be set that low. Time for the fresh oil. We're going to be using Aztec Oil's Torque Tech 5W30. I was actually expecting a Comma branded oil, but the Motor Factors supplied this instead. I did look it up online first, and apparently this is superior. When changing the oil, you do want to at least hit maximum on the dipstick, and it's even okay to go a little over in applications where you can't refill an oil filter, which will always retain some of the oil capacity. I guess we'll do the air filter next. To access it, we need to undo 4 Phillips screws around the centre and right edges of the airbox. For better access to the upper right screw, it's worth undoing the airflow sensor that's held by two Jubilee clips that are 7mm. It looks as though the screw has been rounded off. So I'll try and find a better fitting end for a ratchet, and that with a bit of downwards pressure should give it a chance of gripping what's left of the screw head. Well, that hasn't worked, so instead I'm actually going to try and use a flathead to see if I can get a better purchase. Success! The downside is we can't easily change the screw as it's captive to the air filter housing, which is handy to avoid losing them but annoying when they rust or break. The left side of the airbox top cover is held in by a couple of tangs, so it's removed by lifting it at this angle and refitted by locating the left side first. The air filter is as expected, I guess. We've certainly seen much worse, but it's definitely time for a change. The replacement is a foreign. Well, it's made in China, so that's foreign alright. Part number FFA1019. Before we fit the new one, I'm going to give the airbox a vacuum out. As not visible on camera, there is a load of dead leaves and other organic matter sat in the bottom of it. And now to put it back together. The rounded off screw will have to be reused, but I'll just be mindful not to tighten it down too hard, so when it's next serviced they'll have a slightly easier job than I did. Right, so what's next? It's the fuel filter. Before we open the housing, I'm going to have to clean off a lot of the dust and dirt that's built up, save any risk of it falling inside and defeating the object of having cleanly filtered diesel. The only thing we need is a Torx 30 to remove this top bolt and the electrical doohickey, these are technical terms, and we can avoid having to disconnect the fuel lines, which is quite a treat when working on diesel fuel systems, even of this age. The replacement fuel filter is another Comline item, part number EFF026. What I thought I'd do here is give you a blurred view of my arm, rather than show what I'm doing, which is swapping out the filter element as well as the included seal, which is simply placed in and doesn't have to be stretched or levered on. However, before refastening the top bolt, it too has a seal that can be simply slid on and off it. While I'm under the bonnet, I'm going to have a quick look at the top of the cam belt. Since it's not seen an oil change in quite some time, I imagine the belt isn't particularly recent either, and just want to check for any alarming cracks or splits in it. Dan, the owner, asked if I can check around the bulkhead for water ingress, as there's a leak from an old CB aerial in the roof and another somewhere on the bulkhead that was later seen behind the brake servo. He also asked me to change the wipers, and finally I'm going to get the wheels off for a few checks. So it's had some new drop links, breakwear wise, yeah, the pads are wafer thin so are due for replacement. The discs looked thick enough from when we saw them from underneath, but given the level of rust and how cheaply they're available, they are better to replace. And we do also have a blown strut, unfortunately. It's much the same the other side, rusty but okay track rod, new drop link. The strut isn't as bad but still leaking and would be replaced as a pair ideally anyway. And finally the pads are super thin with a slightly more worn disc this side. I have reset the service light or INSP on the dash but needed both hands to do so, so I haven't filmed it. On these earlier models, you first hold down the trip reset button, turn the key to ignition on, and keep holding it while the INSP flashes and eventually will show miles to next service, and then you can let go. So that's the job done. I hope it's been of use to anyone wanting to keep one of these or a similar vehicle going. Thank you again to Dan and Alfie for the custom and support, and as always a huge thank you to my awesome channel members. We'll be back doing another super unleaded fuel test in the next video, and these are only possible due to channel memberships from 99p a month and tips via YouTube and my Buy Me a Coffee link, or subscribing to my channel is completely free and still helps it along. Finally, thanks very much for watching.